civil society organizations that monitored the Edo State governorship election on Saturday have issued a damning review of the exercise, declaring that the results from several polling units were altered at collation centers. Hence, the conduct of the election lacked credibility. Yaga Africa, which said it deployed the process and results verification for transparency methodology for the Edo election, involving 300 stationary and 25 roving observers, covering a representative sample of polling units across all the 18 local government areas of the state, faulted the conduct of the poll and declared the results as lacking in integrity. In a swift reaction, the All Progressives Congress released a press statement signed by Felix Moka, the National Publicity Secretary, dated 24th of September 2024, entitled APC to Yaga Africa, quit second-guessing INEC on Edo Guba election result. That statement states partly, and I quote, election observer missions are not election management agencies and cannot usurp INEC's statutory authority as the sole election management body in Nigeria. Doing so will constitute a clear breach of the Electoral Act and the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, unquote. However, as a huge indictment on the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and security operatives, the Abuja School of Social and Political Thought is calling for the dissolution of the Independent National Electoral Commission and formation of a new electoral body and leadership, among other urgent electoral reforms, as a result of the fallout of the Edo State governorship election. Joining us now on this show for a further review of the Edo election is Lebari Samson Nduh, former INEC Director of Security. Good morning, Mr. Nduh, and thank you for joining us on the morning show.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Well, very quickly, should INEC be dissolved? We had FEDECO, we had NEC, now INEC. At every time, the issue is about the lack of independence on the part of the electoral body in Nigeria, lack of integrity, lack of effectiveness, despite attempts at electoral reform since 1999 to date. So is the solution on the basis of the perceived irregularities in the Edo election, the dissolution of INEC and the composition of a new body, electoral body? Maybe perhaps those who are proposing that will recommend that those who will manage that new body should be imported from Mars, from Pluto, from outer space, so that Nigeria can have a proper electoral framework.
Okay, I think the problem is not about the body. It is about the attitude of Nigerians to everything that we do. The laws are there. The processes are there. We are supposed to manage the processes. Everybody has a role. I have always said it, and I will continue to say it. Our problem is not the laws or the functionality of the laws. It is our own attitude towards doing things that we should do in the right manner, at the right time, and in the right place. You can dissolve the body, like you have said. You are not going to invite people from the Mars, or from Cameroon, or from Benin Republic. They are Nigerians. The problem we have is a problem of attitudes. That space you occupy, what are you doing with it? Are you working for yourself, or you are working for the interest of the people? And the people themselves, what is their attitude to holding leaders accountable and responsible in their responsibilities? We see things as not concerning us. We complain when we think that we have been cheated, we have our policies and everything have been infringed upon. But all of us have a responsibility as Nigerians to do things in the right way, in the right manner, and at the right time. What were we doing? The processes were there. They were outlined. Everybody has a role to play. What role were given to you? How did you play it? Either as an electorate, as an observer, as a pool official, as a security agent. Did you do what you were supposed to do at the right time and in the right space? We see things and we let it go. And then when it has gone wrong, we'll come back and begin to accuse ourselves. Because what I'm seeing is accusing ourselves. Because all of us refused to play the role we needed to do.
Okay.
So it's not about dissolving the body. It is about doing the right thing at the right time.
All right, sure. So I'm going to use your words. Speaking of doing the right thing at the right time, at the right place, in the right way, did INEC and the INEC officials on duty during this election, did they do the right thing at the right time, at the right place, and in the right way? When we know that what is on IREV is different from what is at the collation centers. When we know that the collation centers at some point were moved and relocated and people locked out and so forth. So my question to you is, in analyzing this just concluded election, did INEC and its officials do the right thing at the right time, in the right way, at the right place?
Yes, they did. They did not do it in isolation of other agencies. The INEC officials are Nigerians. Those other agencies involved in the conduct of the elections are Nigerians. What did we do as individuals, as patriotic Nigerians? The election was conducted. Results were uploaded to the IREF. Results were sent to the collation centers. At the collation center, there are supposed to be security agents, INEC officials, collation officials, and representatives of the political parties. What did they do there? And I will give you an example when I was in Cross River State in active service with Mike Igini, where party officials were asked to submit names of their agents. He submitted, and on the morning of the election, the candidate came and said he wants to change them, that they have been compromised. Is it INEC that compromised them? Is it the security agents that compromised them? Who compromised them? And didn't he know the people he was bringing? So INEC did its best. I'm not absolving them from certain mistakes. No. They did their best. But what did the other people who were there do? Okay, what did the collation agents do?
I'm sorry to
what did the
interject,
political parties do?
I just like you to clarify, what are those mistakes that you're acknowledging that INEC made?
Sometimes logistic problems can cause delay of sending materials at the right time. These people who are carrying these materials, most of them will get there and then run away. And to return the thing back to the collation center becomes a problem. These are the mistakes. And they are not mistakes they are not intentional mistakes caused by INEC. No, they are mistakes deliberately caused by other stakeholders in the electoral process. And like I used to say, and I continue to say it, Nigerians, all of us, we have a duty to protect the electoral process. Okay. Are we doing it?
Okay.
No, that's the answer.
Okay. Check this out. Please, just hear me out. Osita Chidoka posted something, and I'll read it to you. An INEC presiding officer, Remy, recorded 250 accredited voters and wrote 263, 11, 97, and 1 for various polling parties, totaling 372. Did not write the total. in the Nduh elections. I'll read another one for you. Agent Josephine accredited 213 voters out of 496 registered voters, but recorded 406 votes in Oshola Primary School in Wepa Ward of Fesako East. Are these ones other stakeholders that did this? This is a polling unit. This is your INEC officers. Are these one other stakeholders that did this?
INEC officer, yes. Is a Nigerian stakeholder. He was not imported from Benin Republic. He's a copper. He's a stakeholder.
No,
in
but
the
you
system.
said just now that INEC can be
Just
blamed.
listen to me.
I've given you two scenarios. So you are saying INEC should not be blamed. Is this not your INEC officer?
No, that is not what I am saying. Get me clear, Mr. Rufai. Whoever does wrong should be punished according to the laws. The question is, when the security agents and the political party agents saw it, what did they do? They have a right. The laws are there. The laws cannot implement it.
No, but they reported
Nigerians have to stand for their right.
No, they reported it. This was widely reported. We reported to the authorities. We reported in the media, but nothing happened. That was why the PDP people did go to the coalition center to raise cases like this, but nothing happened. Nothing happened. Many cases like this were reported. Nothing happened.
No. Listen, there are processes. There are processes to be followed. There is a review mechanism. Did they follow the review mechanism to the appropriate authority?
As INEC,
it's not going to the press to say it.
As INEC
it's following the process.
As INEC triggered their own review mechanism of the Nduh elections.
Has anybody gone to them to review it?
As INEC triggered their own with all the complaints that have been officially lodged? Have the INEC triggered any review mechanism?
No, you can make No, there are places you make complaints and they become right. There are places you make complaints and it doesn't get the attention it deserves. And the reason is because you do not take what belongs to A and give to B, or take the one that belongs to B and give to A. The processes are there. The methods are there.
Mr. Nduh.
Do it in the proper fashion. And
Mr. Nduh.
Respond.
Let me ask you a simpler question.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you a simpler question.
Please do.
President Jonathan has been quoted in the papers today as saying that what Nduh election 2024 has proven is that technology alone cannot solve the issues with Nigerian elections. Do you agree with him? Because in Edo State, they said beavers worked well, biometric verification was very easy, and despite that, we still had ballot snatching, ballot stuffing, ballot burning, vote trading, and all of that. And then the second issue, you retired from INEC as Director of Security. Do you think it's fair for any political party to say that election observers are making wrong statements? I mean, don't election observers, whether local or international, have a free hand to make their observations and report, as the Nigerian Civil Society Situation Room did and Yaga Africa did? Are there limits from a security perspective for election observers?
There are no limits. There are no limits in election observation. They have their job cut out for them by law, and they are doing it. So if somebody says they are not supposed to do that, he has to prove it by giving us the relevant sections of the law that says they should not make their reports. What they are doing is in tandem with the objectives of election observation. They haven't done anything wrong. That's my perspective. Okay. And as for the statement of the ex-president, he's right. Nigerians need to ask themselves critical questions. Are we getting it right? Because here, in this society where we live, when you think it favors you, when you think, that's my word. When anybody thinks that what he or she is doing favors him, there's nothing that is wrong with it. But when another person does it, it becomes a problem. We need ethical reorientation of all of us in this society. With due respect to the Arise team, I give it to them. They have been our conscience in this nation, and we ask them to continue to keep it up. It doesn't matter what people say, it doesn't matter what people do. Do your own, because there's a day of reckoning. As a Christian, I know there's a day of reckoning when nobody will answer for you.
All right, Mr. Nduh, let's talk about INEC's role as an umpire, because I've heard you making several calls for the citizenry, the electorate, to get involved and do the right thing and so forth. But also just piggybacking off of Dr. Abati's question, referring to the statement from former President Goodluck Jonathan, that at the end of the day, it's human beings that are operating this technology. So if INEC is appointed the umpire, and you, as somebody who was once with this organization, is now appealing to the electorate to do the right thing. My question is, who is the referee in this whole game? Because we can't watch a football match and expect the spectators to now come onto the football stadium, onto the soccer pitch, and start making the calls. The referee has to make the call. So why is it that INEC seems not to want to be in a position to be held responsible where CSOs, citizens, even politicians, are raising a red flag? Is it possible that INEC is a perfect organization? It's highly unlikely. So why are we not seeing a spirit of wanting to embark on some sort of investigation and reform so that INEC can be restored as the electoral umpire of great and high integrity?
Thank you very much. I think the relationship between INEC and civil society organizations, election observation duties, has been a very robust one. INEC interfaces with civil society organizations. The civil society organizations knows and can confirm that they make certain observations, and INEC takes it, discusses with them on ways forward, and adopts it. That's the truth. That's the point I'm making. Going to the press is a different ballgame. That's to enlighten Nigerians of what is going on. They should go a step further to also tell the society that there is no complaint they have taken to INEC. At least as at the time I was in service, there was no complaint that they took to INEC that they did not sit down to discuss and their recommendations were taken and approved and used. Okay. So it's not a question of INEC not taking responsibility. They do.
Okay.
And I also want Nigerians to hold INEC as an institution responsible and accountable. And there are ways and means this can be done. Go and interface with them. INEC is not a magician that they can be everywhere at the same time. Okay. I'm not saying that they do not have some employees who are bad eggs. If you know those people, put them to the commission, and the commission will take appropriate action. They are not shying away from their responsibilities.
Okay. On the 21st of September, I'm giving you empirical facts now. INEC Nigeria verified Twitter handle at 21:32 GMT time said, breaking news. The Commission's attention has been drawn to an allegation of wrong figures enter into polling units result sheet in an ongoing Edo State election. We have received this complaint. Commission will immediately investigate and act on it and deal with any proven infraction. We have not seen any response based on that. Let me also excite you this morning. Esako East, Okpela, Ido Sabo, total number of accredited voters total number of accredited voters 250. APC alone got 263. Accredited voters was 250. I can continue if you don't want me to stop. Accredited voters 213.
Go ahead.
In Esako East Wepa, Osholo Primary School. Accredited voters 213. PDP 52, APC 253. Accredited total valid votes 406. Accredited voters 213.
Yeah, let me quickly interject
stop?
and tell you that.
Will I stop?
No, stop. Let me answer
I have
those
more.
ones first.
Go ahead.
The collation officer. No, I know you have more. I also saw it. It's not only you. I also saw it. The collation officer should have interrogated that result with the beavers. And the law simply says, if the total number of accredited voters is less than the number, in fact, it should be less. The votes cast should not be more than that of the accredited voters. Once it is more, the collation officer, who is a Nigerian citizen, who was employed by INEC, having interrogated that result with the beavers, should, as a matter of fact, cancel it. That's the truth. We're not shying away from taking responsibilities. If he does it, what they need to do is to take it up with the commission, and the commission will review it. That's all.
The commission said they were going
I agree. But these people who are doing this job,
as at 9 o'clock on the 21st of September. As at 9 o'clock, 21st of September, the commission said they have gotten all these complaints, they are going to review it, but nothing happened. Nothing happened. Thank you so much.
They should follow. No, they should follow it up. If they say they are going to review it, then they are reviewing it. They should follow it up. There are processes involved in it.
All right,
there are things that need to be checked.
Mr. Lebari Samson Nduh, former INEC Director of Security, we thank you so much for your time and for your insight today and wish you a wonderful day.